you kind of see yourself in the mirror and you're like, this makes sense.
I got tiny little hands.
Mine too. Look, we're twins. I loved the kids. Yeah, I loved teaching because they're so cute.
You could be a Kawaii
I don't know.
clinical psychologist.
Are you guys going to be my first patient?
we will.
Oh my God.
Hey, podcast kittens, it's Cathy Cat.
And Ladybeard coming at you with another wedding ring pawning installment of Cat with Beard. Super special guest in the studio today. Hey, my friend.
Hello. I'm so sick. I'm sorry.
All right.
My name's RinRin. Hi.
RinRinDoll specifically.
RinRinDoll. A lot of
Dear
people know
friends,
you as RinRinDoll online.
RinRinDoll, please introduce yourself to the dear listeners.
Hello. My name's RinRin, and I'm a model, creator, sometimes MC. And yeah, I think that's about it. Does that cover it?
And we're mates. Yeah,
Yes,
which is good.
we're mates and we're mates.
Yeah,
Actually, we're married.
Hey, we're all married now. Check it out.
Married, look at that.
Look at that.
You were engaged. You're on your way there.
Okay.
Like, engaged.
Okay.
I am apparently married. This is one of your items that you've made with your brand. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how you got here. We're going to talk about all the fashion and everything RinRinDoll today.
All right.
I think all right, so let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start.
Okay.
All right.
Tell us about yourself, my friend. Where you hail from? How'd you get to Japan? What you doing here?
Okay, so I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California, near the beach.
I love the beach.
I used to be super tanned.
Oh yeah?
Super tanned.
Yeah.
It's like the right opposite of like Japanese beauty ideals.
I know.
Can't even imagine you being super
I'm
tanned.
a swimmer. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I used to swim all the time. And then, moved to Japan.
Okay, hold on. Why did you move to Japan? Hold on. They just skipped something there.
Skipped, the birth to 20 years in. We just skipped that bit. So tell us more.
Why did you move to Japan from this wonderful beach environment?
That is a good question. I didn't know what to do.
How old were you?
Oh.
Like, was it like right after school, during
It was
school?
after college, yeah. I graduated. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I did know I wanted to study abroad. So I applied to some overseas programs, and I was very lucky, actually. I do think it was like fate to come to Japan, because out of all the programs that accepted me, the one in Japan was like an amazing program, and it was a grad program, and it was also I also qualified for a scholarship.
Ooh.
So it was pretty amazing, and housing and food, it wasn't really covered, but the tuition was. So I was like, okay, I have to figure out how to cover this housing situation, right? And it was kind of serendipitous because, we graduate in June in the US. So in June, I was like I applied to this program, got accepted, but we have like 3 months before this grad program started in Japan. And so I was like, okay, I don't know what to do, but also, I'm kind of already headed in that direction. So at that time, I was just like, if you guys know Sawtelle in Westwood in LA, it's like downtown LA. I was just walking around with my friends, and then this like casting director scouted us, and they were like, we like your looks. Like, let me just like whip out my camera. Can we just like get a casting like footage? Like, can you just say a few lines and introduce yourselves? And so we all did it. And I kept on getting callbacks. So I kept on getting more and more callbacks. And then I got the job, and it was a blue commercial. I'm not going to say it here.
That is the most Hollywood story I've ever heard. You were just walking around and someone did this.
Yeah.
And said, you, advertise my thing. That's amazing.
So while you were waiting to go to Japan, you also got scouted.
I got scouted, and we shot the commercial within that month. I believe it was in July.
So you got that scholarship in Japan, and you got the housing money. That's a serious.
It was a good commercial.
Like a big payday.
I'm forever grateful to that commercial and to that chain, and I'm like always gonna go and pay my thanks.
Give you a really great head start.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so now this opportunity to come to Japan and study. This was for university, yeah? This is kind of the point of your life that you're in at this moment, yeah?
So it was just an extension of my studies. I was studying psychology. So I basically just did field research here.
Wow, you were studying psychology?
Yeah.
I don't think I even knew that, really.
Cool.
Yeah. More researcher, not therapy, clinical psychology, more research-based.
I imagine going from, psychology in LA to psychology in Japan. You arguably picked the two most extreme places on earth to be a psychologist. I reckon, yeah.
Yeah. I was focusing in behavioral psychology, and especially during the adolescent years. So, yeah.
Has that come in handy during your life here in Japan in any way?
I think it just gives me. I think a lot of people say that I am very sympathetic to a lot of people's situations, and I do think it was because I looked into a lot of how people grow up in different situations, and obviously I don't know everyone's situation. I do tend to want to listen to other people's situations more.
That's lovely.
I would have liked you to be my, lie down and I tell you my worries, and
but I'm not a clinical psychologist though.
You could be.
So funny. You could
be a
I don't know.
clinical psychologist.
Kawaii clinical.
Kawaii clinic. That'd be awesome. Kawaii clinic.
Are you guys gonna be my first patient?
Oh my God. We'll get Kawaii clinic off the
patient.
ground.
Oh my God.
I'm not sure I should have worn this dress in that occasion. Please tell me.
I will say, it's okay if you feel good in it. You're good.
Thank you. See, already, I love this. I would come all the time.
Psychologist.
I'll
try mine. My fingers are too short.
What?
They're too short. Look at
How?
me. I got tiny little hands. Look at my hands.
Oh, they're so
they
tiny.
really are,
but
aren't they?
mine too. Look, we're twins.
We're twins. Now I feel better. You're the best psychologist ever. This is amazing.
Fantastic. Already. Good analysis. Here we go.
Right, so grad program. So you're coming to Japan for psychology now, thanks to this amazing wonderland of a commercial. Wonderful.
Yeah.
So you come over to Japan, but how do we then get from that point to now the Rin we see before us today?
During university, during that time when you were...
So a little bit before. So so Angelic Pretty had one of their first shows in the US in LA. So at that time, I was kind of adjacent to the community, I think. I had a lot of friends within the community. So I knew people who were putting on the show. And actually, one of my friends threw my name into the Lolita local models because they were scouting for local models.
Oh, wonderful!
So I got picked, and I got to walk and talk with the shacho and everything. And I bought my first dress from Angelic Pretty, and it was so amazing. I'm sure you've had both these experiences where you kind of see yourself in the mirror and you're this makes sense. This is how I feel on the inside, and it's being reflected back at me. So that's when it fully clicked that I love this fashion too. And yeah, so I mean, Shacho kind of said if you're ever in Japan, but who knows? People say this all the time. So when I did go to Japan, I'm hey, I'm here, and they're great. Come in.
Oh, wow. It actually worked.
Congratulations.
Great.
Yeah, so it does, I guess it does pay to be kind of forward about it.
Of course.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask.
Round of applause for that, Shacho.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
I had a situation like that, and then I moved countries thinking I had a job waiting for me, and it turns out I didn't.
Oh,
so
my
that
gosh.
worked out great.
Well,
oh my
it worked
gosh.
out great for
Well,
you.
I mean, my visa wasn't based off of that, of course. I was a student, so it's fine.
So
Great.
during your student, before your student years and during your student years, you did model. And
Yes.
then there's the point when your student life is over and you have to choose go home or stay. So what happened there?
You're very detailed.
Well, we all know the Japan story, so we all know kind of, the point comes when you've got your visa struggle. So
Right.
how'd you deal with it and whatnot,
Again, I was super lucky. Because our school, because the grad program was based off the U.S. school years. So again, we we graduated in June. So, and that's not the Japanese school year. So, I mean, I have my friends from school and asked around, like, what is everyone doing? How to like stay. And, like somebody knew somebody who was in this teaching position who really wanted to leave. Like, they were like, this dude really hates his job and really wants to go home, but he was tasked to find a replacement. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And it was teaching at an elementary school. So it was basically the
teaching
ALT.
English, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
So I just like shadowed him for a day. And
he's like,
he has gone through it.
Really?
Yeah. I felt bad for him because he was a DJ. He was aspiring to be a DJ.
Oh, great.
But then it didn't really go anywhere, and then he had to keep this job. And then
that story ends in tragedy. Yeah. Did he have a baby as well? If there's a baby.
Oh no. He was still in his like 20s.
Okay.
So yeah, he was just like, I'm done with Japan. Like done.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
So he quit and you
I
joined.
took over. Yeah.
And you became a teacher. I did not know this.
So,
how long were you teaching?
About 3.5 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was pretty fun. I loved the kids. I loved teaching because they're so cute. Like the children in the elementary school, they're just really happy to see you.
Japanese elementary school is amazing.
They're just so cute. They're like,
so
yeah. I'm like, oh.
Really?
Japanese elementary school is so wholesome.
Yeah.
If you go to the right elementary school, it's super wholesome.
Yes.
We should do an episode about that.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. So 3 years.
3 years. And I did transfer to teaching to middle school in that time. And then it started like adding different schools. So I ended up starting to go to different schools throughout the week. And then that got kind of tough because the middle school children are cute, but also you also see like there are like troubles,
and the hormones are kicking in too.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
Yeah,
middle school.
So, but I mean, it was still pretty cute. Like I tried. I think everywhere I go, I try to go above and beyond. So I opened up like a post box for all the students to, leave letters, and during my free time, I would write them back and stuff.
That's
It's like a Kawaii psychological clinic all over again.
Oh, what it is? It is? What?
The Kawaii counseling all over again.
Oh, is it? So I did that, and then like the time that I was teaching was so much fun.
Was that within the 3 years?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
That one was in one of the middle schools. Yeah.
So elementary and then middle, and you were still modeling on the side, I assume?
I was modeling during that time. So
after teaching is a big thing, and it seemed like you enjoyed it, and you should have maybe, that was like one of your calling. You were engaging with the kids. Why did you stop? I stopped because there's no way to go up.
Oh, there's no progression.
Without getting a teacher's license or anything like that. And I didn't technically come to Japan to be a teacher. Yes. So to me, I learned skills from there. Like I picked up how to project into a large classroom, how to make a lesson plan that is engaging and fun and can let the kids forget that they're learning, but like find out at the end they know how to use certain phrases and, encourage them to use it in a free creative way so that they can not feel intimidated by English. So I think in those ways, I learned a lot from the job, and I did bring it into my creator self now too. And also in modeling, it's so scary to talk in front of so many people, right? Well, I don't know. For you seem like to me, it's like a little bit hard.
Sure.
But yeah, so just like doing that every day whether or not you feel good or not during that day, right?
Teaching is hard,
You have
guys.
to.
I'm so
Yeah.
bad.
So hard.
I'm so
Even
bad
if
at
you're
it.
out of it, like you have to be like, when the first kid comes in, you got to light up and be like, hi, I'm so happy to see you. Like that.
All right,
You
so
know?
we have the American RinRin, we have the study RinRin, then we have the teacher RinRin. What happened
Okay.
after that?
And sorry, before we get to that, can I just ask a question? At what point did you have the ability to speak Japanese?
So I didn't really speak Japanese the first year I came to Japan.
So you learned Japanese in Japan, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
By
And-
yourself?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the school I went to was half Japanese studies and then the other half was your dissertation.
Oh,
So
okay, good.
Okay. And okay, so sorry. So you learned Japanese when you got here. Through that teaching period, you were doing Lolita modeling after hours and on the side.
after hours on the side.
Okay. And then we make it to...
So I was modeling since I came here. And yeah, I just really immersed myself into everything that I did. Like even when I was studying on the weekend or after class, I would go to cooking classes to,
Oh,
and they're all Japanese lessons. So
good move.
yeah, learning that, taking cooking classes.
smart.
Weekends, I would, I would be doing the modeling stuff, or I would be going to dance classes and things like that.
Dance
So
classes?
my whole like schedule was very, very packed.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
I'll get your opinion on this as well. And how did you enjoy going to classes in Japan that were taught in Japanese as the foreigner? How did you enjoy that process?
I think it was great. Everyone was very kind to me. Like for the cooking classes, obviously I didn't follow along as fast as everybody else, but there's always somebody in the class with me who is like, oh, hey, so like ebi is shrimp or something like that. Or like hojo is knife. So
That's
like
good.
cut that, you know?
Have you done classes for things in Japan in Japanese?
I had. There was a cooking class I've done.
How'd you enjoy the process?
I think people, when they see you're a bit lost, like the ladies are super nice and
Yeah.
helping.
The students are very nice.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
usually they also like, oh, she might need help, and then they come over
Yeah.
and help. So
Sorry to put this on it. It's a bit
Yeah.
negative, but I hate doing classes in Japan
Oh.
because I come in. Now, look, my language skills are not as good as yours and probably not as good as yours either. But I come into a class and what I see happen is, firstly, everyone's like, the teacher's like, and they start teaching the class in Japanese and I'm just doing what we're all doing. And they kind of go, and then they kind of come over and they'll try communicating with me and they'll realize I understand the Japanese. They go, and now they loosen up. But now here's what happens. And I'm not sure, maybe it's just me. But now the teacher goes, I'm going to show everyone how good my English is by talking at the foreigner in English.
Oh no!
So for me, it's either martial arts or dance classes normally. So everyone else gets the instruction at the front of the class. They come over to me, lift off the door in the back. And I'm like, all right, it's my last class here.
Because you stand
I
out.
think that must be it. I just,
Yeah.
especially doing ballet classes, it used to
Yeah.
be a bunch of housewives and then me.
Oh my gosh, that must be so cute.
I would have loved to see
It's kind of
that.
funny. Ballet at 2 p.m. or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
all housewives in their leotards.
Oh my gosh.
I walk in, ballet.
I love that. Yeah.
Nice. Oh
Yeah.
man, I would have loved to be a fly on the wall during
Yeah,
that
me
class.
too.
I
I
love
think that
ballet.
would be so cute.
I don't think we've ever spoken about that before, but yeah, I love doing ballet. I love it. But I stopped doing classes because I was like, I don't enjoy this.
Left
So-
foot.
Yeah. Left off a door.
Oh my
Plie. I'm
my
like, all right,
God.
man. All right, calm down.
Yeah.
Anyway, so sorry, back to you. I'm sorry. I totally
no,
stole the focus from
No,
everyone.
Okay,
yes.
let me do the German thing. I'm gonna go in and explain. So we're at this point of the end of you being a teacher. You were a great teacher. You loved being a
yes.
teacher, but you quit being a teacher because there is no career in teaching. That's
But
a scary
also, I
moment because
got
it's
sick.
still steady.
Mhm.
Like still, you get sick a lot. I know that as well. Yeah, you get sick all the time. Even though we're all sick today. Hey,
All of us are sick today. That's
oh
right.
my god! But it was still a stable job. So what did you move on to from that?
So I actually got very sick, as in over this like Thanksgiving time that I finally got time off to be able to go home and see my family. I immediately was hospitalized.
Oh my!
So
Wow.
I think the schedule was too tough.
Mm.
At that time, especially, I hate thinking about that time, but I would wake up around 4 or 5 in the morning and then go take like trains, buses. Like you can't sit. And the transportation was like 2 hours to this like inaka place to teach.
Countryside.
Yeah. And at that time, that school was very tough. They were very strict. Like they were very kind of. I would say now it's like pawahara.
Power harassment?
Yeah.
Oh.
So the teachers like didn't like that I had dyed hair, which was, that was fine. What I ended up doing was lifting up all my bangs, wearing glasses, wrapping my hair up because I had really colored hair at the ends. I put it in a bun. Like I would tuck the ends into a bun, wear a suit, everything. But even then, like they would purposely put in like volunteer hours, which doesn't let you go even when your shift is done and stuff. And it was just like, it was very tough. And then on top of that, I was dealing with bullying from the teachers, which was kind of insane to think about because it was like, it wasn't even like passive aggressive bullying. It was straight up, I would make like a stack of worksheets and I would actually print them out and stack them up on my table for the next day. And I would come in and then I would label them for each class. Like I'm pretty prepared for these things. And they're all handmade, by the way. They're all handmade, custom worksheets and stuff. And I would come in the next day, not only would they be ripped up and scribbled on and messed up, like I would find trash in my desk. I would, my post box was violated. Like,
gosh.
Poor girl, this sounds awful.
That is horrible.
It was like straight bullying. But when I ask people around me, they're like, we didn't say anything. So I'm just
you never found out who it was?
I never did. I also reported it and they were like, they announced to all the teachers and they're like, hey, like you shouldn't be like don't leave your trash in other teachers' desks, like don't scribble on other teachers' stuffs, generalized. Like, and I didn't want them to point to me anyways. So
the person who doesn't knew they do this to you, yeah.
But like it was like pretty bad.
That's awful.
It's really bad.
Poor girl.
Sorry, having been in that environment, because I did teach in elementary schools, usually there's also a time in the morning when all the teachers have like a meeting.
Yeah.
And during that meeting,
say that.
Yeah. During that meeting is when they said that, like you said.
Yeah.
But also, from my experience, during that meeting, they bring up if there's bullying in their class, the teachers have to talk about it. So they, for example, hey, 3B, I have a bit of a problem with that. You need to voice it. No, but now by law, they need to voice it apparently. Before that, it was like, you could not. But now you have to talk about it in case something happens with the kids. Yeah. But I'm so surprised that it wasn't really voiced for the teachers themselves. So you never found out who harassed you, and it wasn't brought up more than once, I guess?
It was brought up more than once. Oh, wow. It happened all the time. No. And so I would have to go in earlier because then I have to remake all of these things. And I would take back the data stick that I would make the worksheets on and I know I wasn't supposed to or not allowed to, but I would do that just to protect my data so that I know I can, print it at any time beforehand.
Sorry to interrupt. Was it definitely not one of the kids?
They can't come into the shokuhinshitsu.
They can't go into that room. They don't have the key.
I still don't know what the shokuhinshitsu. I've not taught at the school, so I don't know what that is. Teacher's room or something.
Yeah. So
wow.
It was like outright bullying, and like this on top of I was still modeling. I was still, the toughest days would be like a Friday, and then, hey, we're having a tea party after that. And it was like rushing, changing. Like I would be doing my makeup on the trains, even though I'm not supposed to, but you can't help it.
Screw them.
You have to, there's no time. There's just like absolutely no time. And so like, that's just what happened. And I would come back in the middle of the night, last train, and I would pass out from like not eating. Or, I would just sit in front of my dinner and I'll be like, And I would wake up at 4 again. I'm like, oh crap, it's 4 and my dinner's still here.
You poor girl.
You went through a tough grind. I cannot tell why you quit that, even though you were great with the kids. The teachers were horrible. They lost an amazing teacher. That school lost an amazing teacher.
And can I point something out as well? This other teacher is messing with your actual classes. Your actually education of the kids is being interfered with if they're messing up your worksheets
I
and
don't
whatnot.
think they messed with the actual teaching, but they tried to make my desk area like as tough as possible.
So do you think the guy before that quit? Oh no, that was
It was
elementary.
different, yeah.
Okay,
This
different
was all
school.
different.
Why, what motivates someone to do that?
I have
Why
no
would you-
idea.
They must have had their own issues.
Yeah, I think
hurt people.
Yeah, it's just something that they're going through. Obviously, it can't have something to do with me, right? I mean, it'll be hard to kind of think back on that again. But after I was going through that a lot, I was having a lot of like stomach problems. Like I was just not doing well. So I went back, and then immediately when I landed the next day, I went to the hospital.
Oh my god.
Oh, Rin! I had no idea. It's the first time I've heard any of these stories. You poor girl.
I mean, I don't really talk about it because they're like tough times, but it's something I chose to do. So it's not like anything super, I mean, it was hard, but it was something, to go overcome.
Good attitude.
Overcome.
Good attitude.
Overcome.
Good attitude.
Yeah.
And since we're now at the low part where we're like, what happened then? I think that might be good cliffhanger.
Wrap this bad
How
boy
did
up.
Rin become and become the sensation that she is today?
We're going to find out in the next
We're gonna
episode.
find out.
Before we move on, tell everyone where you are on the internet so they can follow you.
Oh, everything at RinRinDoll. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch now. Yeah.
Hang on, so at RINRIN.
RinDoll.
Okay.
Sometimes there's an underscore, but you can still
Wait,
find
what?
it.
So hang on just a minute now.
Sometimes they have an underscore.
I'll
you
put in
don't
Rin
find
Doll, you'll find it.
Yeah.
So if you don't find her as RinRinDoll, then put an underscore in between Rin and Doll, I assume.
Yeah.
And then you find her. You'll find her.
Figure it
Yeah.
out. Come on now.
And we will figure out what happened after that.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
burning to find out
Oh
too.
my gosh.
I hope you are too. And you'll find out
On
next
the next
week.
installment of Cat with Beard.
Beard.
Wiedersehen.
Bye bye.